This time I would recognize the gentlelady from California, Ms. Capps, for 5 minutes.
Thank the chairman for recognizing me, and I thank you, Mr. Giuseppe, for your testimony. I appreciate EPA's acknowledgement of the strong link between our energy sources and usage, climate change, and clean air and water. As a representative of a coastal district, I am particularly mindful of these impacts on our oceans. As you well know, we rely upon healthy oceans for countless economic activities like fishing, tourism, and recreation. One of the most troubling impacts of climate change is ocean acidification, which threatens countless organisms, ecosystems, and livelihoods. Ocean acidification is caused by the increased uptake of carbon dioxide from the air and nutrient runoff from land. Managing coastal runoff is clearly within EPA's jurisdiction, so I would hope that EPA has a plan for managing this contributor to ocean acidification. My specific question, Mr. Giuseppe, is EPA doing anything to monitor nutrient runoff? If so, what are you doing to reduce this runoff and its impacts on the ocean?
Thank you for the question. I mentioned in my opening comments, and I want to emphasize this more with your question, that nutrient pollution, whether it be Lake Erie or in the Great Lakes or Lake Tahoe or the ocean near coastal waters, is a major issue in the United States. We have asked in this budget for some additional funds to help states put together more concrete plans on some of those impaired waters, and we've been working with the states to identify all the places in the country where there is impairment. I want to add one thing very quickly. We've also been working very hard with our partners in the Department of Agriculture, because they also have concerns about this, because obviously they want to maintain nutrients on the land so that they can help grow the crops. So we have a good working relationship there, and we are hoping to provide some more funding to states here through this budget.
And I appreciate that, and we'll look forward to working with you to make sure this happens. Another topic, one of the deeper program cuts in the EPA budget is to the National Estuary Program, which was reduced by nearly 15%, and this is compared to the 5.2% reduction to the agency as a whole. Our national estuaries, and I can tell you know that I have one in my district, are such an important resource for coastal communities through ecosystem preservation and also providing local jobs. Despite these programs' ability to leverage minimal EPA funding, and they partner with such a variety of private sources and nonprofit sources, so they really are good at leveraging, these estuary programs are relatively small, and they can't weather cuts as well as some of the larger programs. For example, Morro Bay National Estuary Program in my district raises about $2.50 for every dollar it receives from EPA. This program helps our cities, the county, state agencies, local nonprofits, and landowners further the conservation goals in our local communities. But this proposed cut is going to force Morro Bay to eliminate a position in that estuary, to pull back on promised services to our community. So, Mr. Giuseppe, I understand EPA's very tough budget challenges, but what is the rationale for making such a substantial cut to the National Estuary Program, and how does this align with EPA's overall mission? I know it's a tough question. You didn't ask for this budget, but we're trying to understand it.
You know, the National Estuary Program is something I've personally worked on for many, many years. Being from Baltimore for the middle part of my life, obviously the Chesapeake Bay is a pretty important amount. Now, what you're talking about is the difficult choices we had to make in implementing the sequestration in 2013. Absolutely. I want you to know that the budget before you for 2014 restores the funding for the estuary program at the basic level that we think it needs to have. And I hope, again, that the committee will, in its advice and coordination with the Appropriations Committee, support that.
Thank you. I look forward to getting that information. And I did have one other question which won't fit into the last 18 seconds, but because it's such a big topic, our country's water infrastructure is in such need of repair and upgrades. So I would like to, Mr. Chairman, submit this question to Mr. Percisepi in written form and ask that both the committee and myself personally receive a written answer and response, because I think we're at a crisis level in many of our water districts in the country. I know we certainly are on the Central Coast of California. And so, again, thank you for continuing this back and forth.
Well, they will certainly be submitted. As you know, when the hearing's over, we'll be gathering material for additional questions and getting it to the administrator.